Hey Danny, how you doing, man?
I'm good, Lewis. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. We've had our fair share of technical difficulties getting the podcast started today, but we're here now, ready to go.
I know that was a fucking odyssey and a half. That one.
Oh yeah, my microphone wouldn't work. Your computer had to suddenly update. It's all good stuff.
Yeah, I think
it's all good. It adds to the rich tapestry of life.
I think my computer just waits, and as soon as I need it, it just goes right. We'll sneak in a cheeky update. Just to fuck
you need
with
to do a 3-hour update really quick.
Yeah.
Just while we're here.
Anyway.
Well, Danny, this is Whispering into the Void. It's the super fast compressed version. So this week we're talking about episode 4 of season 12 of Doctor Who, which is of course called Nikola Tesla's Night of Terror.
Yeah, a lot of alliteration there.
Oh yeah, I like it.
Yum. It was written by Nina Mativier. I'm sorry if I've pronounced that wrong. And it was also directed by, it's either Nida or Nida Manzoor. So there you go.
There we go.
And
do you have an opening statement about this bad boy?
I haven't done the starring yet, Lewis.
All right, do the story.
The actors are pretty, Jodie Whittaker, Bradley Walsh, Tosin Cole, Mandip Gill, and some other people. So there you go.
Good stuff.
Yep.
Do you have an opening statement about this, Danny?
Yes, I do. Would you like to hear it?
I would love to, yeah.
Okay. A standard historical in the same vein as Series 11, like Rosa, etc. This one is about Nikola Tesla and offers a unique insight as to how he was not remembered, as well as Thomas Edison. Oh, and there are aliens.
I didn't catch that.
What?
Oh, Siri doesn't quite agree with you there.
Siri has taken down everything I've said, and actually, most of it's pronounced quite well. I don't know why it did that. My voice is really croaky this morning, isn't it?
Well, I blame Siri for that.
I'm going to give a big old cough, right, away from the mic.
Okay, everybody hold on to your seats.
Are
we all sorted now?
I think so. How do I sound?
Oh, good stuff. Yeah, you sound a bit better now.
See, most professional podcasters would have done that way before we'd started recording, but 3 minutes in, I gave a big old...
Well, we hate the audience, we hate ourselves.
Yes.
So, gotta do the 3-minute cough. That's how it works.
What's your opening statement, Liz?
My opening statement is as follows. I actually kind of liked this one. Cool acting, cool characters, good acting, and while it wasn't perfect, it was a bit rushed, the dialogue was a bit jumbled. I liked the setting and the main aliens as well. The scavenger race thing is a cool idea that we haven't really seen very much before in Doctor Who. Or at least not to my memory, and I'm very forgetful, so maybe it's every episode.
Yeah, I didn't say it was bad. I think it had some interesting themes, but I just get the feeling that it's filler. Like they remind me. Who do the aliens remind me of? They remind me of the Rachnos.
Yes, yeah, that's true.
Which is,
big red queen lady in the Christmas star.
Yeah, that's if you go into the wiki page of the Rachnos, that's exactly what will be written. Big red thing. Big red lady thing. Positives. The performances were good.
They were. This is true.
Jodie, I think, is becoming more like the Doctor. I feel as if she's more the Doctor now than ever. I think she's really settled into the role. It looked great again. Can't fault it on it.
I mean, it always does.
Yeah,
it always does, doesn't it?
That's the one thing that's been consistent, I think.
Yeah. I liked how, just briefly, when Edison or Tesla or whoever it was stood in the doorway of the TARDIS, you sort of you saw that the TARDIS doors bled into the interior of the TARDIS. They sort of melted together. That was quite a nice little aesthetic thing.
It was, yeah. I liked that.
Okay, have you got any CRQs while we're here?
I do, yes.
Oh, that's a good job, because that's the format.
I know we fucking... why isn't the Doctor dressed to blend in like the fam?
My wife said exactly the same thing. Why do the companions dress in period clothing, but the Doctor doesn't?
Yes.
It doesn't make any sense. The Doctor... It's like they explain it away quite easily in quite a few episodes, like the one where they went to Pompeii, where Peter Capaldi and David Tennant were in it. And Donna was saying, well, shouldn't we be wearing, like, togas? And the Doctor went, well, it's ancient Rome, anything goes, or whatever. Surely it makes more sense to just not change, or both change. Like when the Doctor and Clara went onto that Space Orient Express, or whatever it was, and the Doctor put on that other suit, and Clara put on that dress. Do you know what I mean? They were dressed in period clothes, and that kind of made sense.
But Jodie stuck to her usual clothes. And see when you say it's ancient Rome, anything goes. Yeah. Until you were Christian.
Well, yeah, until you were Christian. And then I'm pretty sure if you got out, like, your iPhone, you might be horrendously murdered for witchcraft or whatever.
It's not really a bastion of progressiveness, is it?
No, not so much.
One thing that I noted, the Silurian gun.
Yeah, Silurian. Jodie referred to it as Jodie. I'm saying that like I know her. The Doctor referred to it as an alien gun.
No, it's not.
But Silurians are like a pre-human civilization.
Yeah, that annoyed me. So, Edison is a massive cock? Question mark.
I mean, yeah. That's sort of always been the thing. IRL, Edison was a massive cock. I'm fairly sure.
Right.
Nikola Tesla wasn't great, but he was fairly normal for the time, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Like, he believed in eugenics. He spoke about the power of eugenics, and he said, by 2100, everybody will be being eugenicized, whatever that is. That will be commonplace practice and stuff. But then, and nowadays, obviously, that's like a horrific viewpoint. But like at the time, it was a less divisive thing. It was I suppose maybe that kind of makes sense to some degree. That was like a fairly commonplace thing. I read this very briefly in a Guardian article, that eugenics thing. So Christ knows how true it is, but that was what I read somewhere. I think Nikola Tesla, he was also in love with a pigeon. He had like a romantic relationship with a pigeon.
Yeah.
Or he claimed he did anyway, and he was a germaphobe, which I did like that they mentioned that quite briefly in the episode.
Yeah.
When the crowd was sort of crowding round him, he held his hands up to like his face and didn't want to touch any of them, and so it's nice that they did include some of the sort of what's the word? The historical character traits.
Yeah.
But then of course they can't include everything because like Winston Churchill believed in the power of eugenics to some degree or another. So do you know what I mean? They can't include it. These horrible things.
Who the fuck didn't believe in eugenics back then? Like every fucker and his nan believed in eugenics back then.
Yeah.
It was
like H.G. Wells, Winston Churchill, loads of people.
H.P. Lovecraft. These people who did these great things. Yes, they believed stupid things that were the product of their time. I mean, I thought maybe it would have killed the mood a wee bit if they started going on about eugenics during the episode when the aliens are attacking. So maybe, I don't know. Like the trouble with Doctor Who, it's like some episodes are like really serious, and they'll do like sort of this was wrong. But some episodes, it's like they're asking the audience to say, well, it's a kids show, but in some other episodes, no, this is serious. This is some serious stuff. So it's like I don't think you can really have it both ways. I think you should display history as it is rather than romanticizing it.
I suppose so, yeah.
But then would that make for good telly? Who knows?
Perhaps not. One thing I did notice in this episode, this is less of a question, more of a statement, is the dialogue felt quite sort of I felt like quite a few times I was clubbed over the head with stuff.
Yeah.
Like at the end, obviously, there was that whole dialogue of Tesla is forgotten. He dies penniless, and nothing he ever does is really... He never sees any sort of profit or anything from anything. That sort of really clubbed me over the head with the "you should feel sorry for Tesla" line. But then on the same level, when they were on the train and the Doctor was trying to pull that pin out of the linking coupling things, and she was going, "Oh, it's rusted shut." It's like, well, you didn't. There's nobody there for you to talk to, and I can see that it's rusted shut. You don't need to tell me that. It feels a little bit ham-fisted sometimes. It sort of quick, fast-paced things like that.
Yeah, I agree. I hate when characters point out the obvious, just to sort of pad the dialogue through.
Yeah.
Questions about the aliens, the Skithra, I believe they're called. Are there not a billion other inventors that these aliens could use in the universe to fix their weapons?
Exactly. Why is Tesla the go-to? Why wouldn't they go to some other planet which has extremely advanced technology?
Yeah, I mean, he's smart for human beings, but he's not, I doubt he could repair a fucking spaceship.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, one thing that, to sort of make the Queen seem a bit more sort of scary, one of her troops said something and she killed him, and she said, "I was talking." No, you weren't. You literally stopped, and Jodie was sorry. The Doctor was speaking, and then he said it as "I was talking." It's like, no, you weren't.
I have a whole bunch of sort of vaguely dumb questions. So the TARDIS couldn't generate enough power to fire a lightning bolt at the ship. This is the same TARDIS where we've seen a black hole inside it. Is that not? If it's using the power of a black hole and it can't generate a lightning bolt, does that not strike a bit strangely to you?
Yeah.
I don't quite get that one.
The aliens have the ability to destroy the planet, but they need Tesla to repair their weapons.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense.
If
they'd have said upgrade or improve or pioneer, then yeah, I guess, kind of. But repair, we are broken, we need your help. 19th century scientist or 20th century scientist. You know, it doesn't make...
Yeah.
I have a question.
Go on.
Is Jodie Whittaker's Doctor a bit more sort of rude in conversation than previous Doctors have been?
I don't think so. I think that she's far more she's probably the nicest Doctor we've ever had.
Yeah, that's true. She does seem like a sort of a kind person, but when there are people in...
She's far more curious than anything. She's just not that the other Doctors weren't curious about things, but she is just full of wonder and just wants to, have a nice time with some friends, which is, it's something we haven't seen before, and I think, it's a good angle to go down. But if you do that, you trade off somewhat being assertive, which I think in some cases the Doctor has trouble at asserting herself, because T. Davis and Moffat really bigged the Doctor up into this sort of legend type thing, and and Matt Smith with his his speeches about the Pandora cut and that was really cool. It was almost like a superhero type show.
Yeah.
So it has its draws and it has its pros.
I think I think you're right with that, and I also think that one of the strange things that I've found this series and to a degree last series is that the characters as in the companions just aren't very good. I don't care about them. Like, I see that they're trying to have this arc about Ryan and I forget what it was they were saying, but like in the previous series he sort of couldn't ride a bike and he couldn't jump between the train carriages in this episode or whatever it was, and I get that they're trying to have this arc with him, but I just don't give a shit.
Yeah.
I don't mean to sound like rude or anything, but I just don't care. I don't know the character well enough, and I don't care about that. I don't care about his arc, and I think my reason for that, or a reason why the characters don't seem very fleshed out, could be that there's no hint of extra episode adventures, if that makes sense. Like, back in, like, series 1 of New Who, they go and see Jackie Tyler on the Powell estate, or it might have been series 2 or something, and Rose gives Jackie Tyler this little what's it, and says, oh, it's such and such that'll tell you the weather. If it gets hot, then it's going to be sunny, and if it gets cold, then it's going to rain. Bazoolium, yeah. And from that short sort of dialogue exchange, you then realise, okay, well, the Doctor and Rose must have been going on adventures that we haven't seen. There are things happening in this series that I'm not privy to. and that builds more of a rich relationship between the Doctor and the companions. But these companions now, there's no hint of, oh yeah, that time we went to such a place, or that time we did this, or oh yeah, when we went to this place, I got this, or there's no hint of that. I feel like there's much more of a concrete distinction between the Doctor and her companions. Do you know what I mean?
I do know what you mean, and I think I've heard some criticism saying that it's too big, the TARDIS team, it's too big, but
yeah,
if you remember the Sarah Jane Adventures, which was a CBBC show, there was a... Shut up, Sarah, you dick! Why is it doing that? It's just... fuck off, I'm turning you off. But anyway, so in the Sarah Jane Adventures, you had in the latter seasons, you had Luke, you had Rani, you had Clyde. So that's 3 people who were all very likeable and were written very well, and it never felt crowded. So it must. I don't know what it is, but Bradley Walsh as well. Like,
it feels like they think Bradley Walsh is...
but his performance is just... It's as if he isn't even in the situation sometimes.
Yeah.
Right,
it's like they're trying to make...
Now here comes a quote from Graham. You know, it's just like... There's aliens outside going to kill you, and you're very happy about that, apparently.
It's like they're just sort of... It's like they think Bradley Walsh is funnier than he is.
Yeah.
And they're trying to make him sort of riff on whatever the current situation is. Like what he said about, oi, AC/DC. It's like, no, there are aliens outside that are about to kill you. Now is not the time for quipping.
Yeah, and like, he brought up his old, his manager or something like that.
Yeah.
Which is fair enough, but like, he has a go at them for wasting time, but has conversation
about his old manager.
Fucks it. You know, it's just, I don't know what it is. I can't put my finger on it, but there's just something off with the writing, like with the dialogue between these characters. I don't know what it is, and I don't know if we'll ever know.
Why, at the end of the episode, when the Doctor teleported the alien queen to the spaceship, shortly before she blew the spaceship up, why didn't the alien queen then teleport back to Earth? Because they have that teleportation ability. They were doing like the entire episode, just like zipping back and forth. Just because she unexpectedly, surely she should be able to go back, right?
Yeah, maybe
it's an independent system to the break. Oh, I don't know.
And yet, why? Rule 1 in strategy: never put your most valuable piece in harm's way. She just fucking waltzed in. She's got 1 million scorpions out there, and she waltzed in and just started saying, "I'm gonna kill all of you." Just kill them.
It's monologuing is the great sort of film issue with villains is when they stand there and then monologue about whatever they're going to do before they do it,
and then they never do it, and then they get killed. It's like
yeah.
And the Doctor committed, like, I know she was a baddie, but like she committed murder. You know, she literally
she did.
Teleported her and then blew her up. And I would have done the same, but like, isn't she all about sort of peace, and
love, and acceptance, and
like,
sure, even imprisonment would be better than just instant death.
Yeah,
the Doctor is like, and it's not, Judge Dredd at this point.
Yeah, and it's not just. Didn't she commit genocide?
If that was the last of that kind, then sure.
So, yeah, I don't know.
It's a bit weird. It's as I say, they're going in. It feels like they're going in a slightly better direction, but they haven't quite got quite perfect yet.
Yeah.
This episode feels better than the previous few, which I really didn't like.
It felt a lot better than last episode.
Much more cohesive. Much more. I was much more invested in the story.
Yeah.
But it had its flaws.
Yeah.
Like when you start to sort of question these things about the species, this scavenger species, it's like, well, did they not pick up some kind of rudimentary understanding of the technology they were using?
Yeah.
Like as in, I mean, neither of us know how to repair an iPhone.
Nope.
But I imagine there are at least some pieces that look like they go together. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If something breaks, can't you look at it and go, oh, well, yeah, there used to be a piece in that gap there, and now there isn't. That piece is missing. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's some degree of sort of intuitiveness that can just... that can help you fix things like that. I mean, why would they need Edison? Go to Mars, get like an ice warrior scientist or whatever. It doesn't make any sense.
What I am glad about that I thought they were going to do that they didn't, you know, the whole sort of, it's a scavenger ship and there's just a million doodads on it. I'm glad that they didn't pull out a MacGuffin to just sort of get rid of them instantly.
Yeah.
Like, because she was picking up stuff and just name dropping this, and I was like, oh no, they're going to use that. Just one of these things just to get rid of them. But they didn't, to their credit, which is very good, and I'm glad they didn't do that.
Yeah.
So,
by the way, how come Tesla can figure out how the TARDIS is bigger on the inside?
Yeah, and he didn't really figure it out, did he? He just said the interior dimensions transcends the exterior. You're just pointing out the fucking obvious. It's like, you didn't really figure out how it does that, did you?
No, it's a weird one.
And the Doctor's like, spot on! It's like, well, yeah, but the question was...
Only technically.
I couldn't figure it out either. And then he says, yeah, basically, it's bigger on the inside. And the Doctor said, spot on. And Edison stood there like a plook. I don't know the history between Tesla and Edison, so I'm not really fit to comment on it. So I mean, I'm sure they've done the research on it.
Essentially, from what I understand from my extensive studies of history, is that the show was essentially quite truthful. Like Tesla and Edison weren't mates. Edison made this sort of habit of going around finding patents and quickly patenting things before other people could do it, and then making lots of money off it. Like lots of bits and bobs. Like the light bulb Thomas Edison didn't really design. That he just sort of stole the patent supposedly, and then filed it and made loads of money off the back of it. And then now, if you ask like school kids or whatever who invented the light bulb, Thomas Edison is the answer to that question, but it really shouldn't be.
So who did invent it? Was it Tesla?
Well, annoyingly, I have no idea. I think a light bulb is one of those things that it was invented, or similar things were invented by several different people. I'm going to Google it now, because I think it might be Alexander Graham Bell, actually.
Is it maybe like you know how in the first episodes, Ada Lovelace, she didn't invent the first computer, but she did the groundwork so that the first computer could be invented.
Yes, that's sort of it, yeah. Here we go. Joseph Swan, apparently.
Who the fuck's that?
Well, I mean,
maybe they should have done an episode on Joseph Swan.
Maybe.
Joseph Swan's Night of Scariness.
I think the thing that Thomas Edison quite regularly did, from what I understand, is that, say this bloke, Joseph Swan, invented a light bulb. Thomas Edison would take his design, change it slightly to make it slightly cheaper or whatever, and then because he already had a lot of money, he would mass produce this one thing, and that would become the thing that everybody uses, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
What a funny story.
I know. Joseph Swan's January of Scariness.
January spooks.
It's a two-parter.
I'm afraid I've actually run out of questions now.
I've run out of questions as well. So we go for a closing statement.
Yeah, go on. Hit me with your closing statement.
Okay. Some interesting themes, decent performances, but filler. Sadly. Not a bad episode, but definitely not a great one.
Yeah, I agree. Not a bad episode, not a great episode. I think it was good. It was solid in the middle sort of thing. This was a lot closer to the mark of a good episode of Doctor Who for me. Interesting and well-presented single-use themes, as well as believable villains and a good message. Still wasn't perfect, as you were clubbed over the head with the whole Tesla was forgotten thing, but it was a lot better than previous episodes of this series. If they keep up this tending towards being slightly better, then hopefully we'll have good Doctor Who by the end of the series.
Yeah, I'm hoping that they get on to the series arc.
Yes, even just a brief episode sort of checking in on the series arc would be nice.
I saw the trailer. It seems that the Cybermen are back. The Judoon are in it.
Well, hey, we love the Cybermen. How many more times can they tell that story? The thing about the Daleks is you can sort of continue the Dalek story a bit, but the Cyberman story, you can't really continue it.
Yeah,
it's a single use story that they've somehow done many times over.
Yeah, and they evolved them to their absolute extreme in Nightmare and Silver, where they could run, and then in Capaldi's era they could fly. So they
were basically Iron Man in Capaldi's era.
Yeah, essentially. So I don't know how long. I don't know what they've got this time. Maybe it'll be interesting. There's a great story about the Cybermen called The Flood, which is a comic book that's really good, and maybe they'll adapt.
I am unaware of it.
Yeah, you should give it a look.
What's it about? Give me a brief synopsis.
Well, you need to find out for yourself, Lewis.
Oh, that's a very good point. I'm going to Google it right now, or live on air. The Flood, Doctor Who. The Waters of Mars?
No.
It's because it's an alien. Okay. Doctor Who comic. Here we go. The Doctor and Destry, is that a companion?
Yes.
Arrive on Earth to find rain falling on a marketplace. Rain that radically alters emotions. It's a test being conducted by the future Cybermen. That does sound quite interesting, actually, yeah.
So there you go. Maybe they'll do that.
Maybe they will. Who knows? We can only hope for some nice bits of Doctor Who.
Yes, definitely.
Where can people find you, Danny?
Yes, that's a good question. They can find me on Instagram at Hiram. They can find me on Facebook. Facebook page, it's just Daniel Kerr. They can also find me on Twitter at Kerzo2000. What about you, Lewis?
I'm on Instagram at Lewis_Brindley, Twitter at LewisBrindley4. I have a Facebook page, Lewis Brindley. I am an idiot with regards to Facebook. I hope you can find it. There's pictures of my face on it, and also stuff about the podcast. Have a look. See if you can find it. Make that your New Year's resolution, to try and find my Facebook page. And if you do find it, give it a cheeky little like.
Fuck's sake, Lewis, we're 21 days in. You can't just drop a New Year's resolution now.
No, I mean, I kind of disagree with New Year's resolutions anyway, but yeah.
I never do them.
No, I think New Year's themes, that's a good way to do it. And say, my theme of 2020 is going to be growth. And then make that your theme.
Yeah, and then you don't grow.
Yeah.
And it's hilarious irony. We're on we're on Podomatic, we're on Spotify, we're on Apple Podcasts, we've got our own YouTube channel. We've also got PayPal, haven't we, Lewis?
We do. That's a very strange way of putting it, but yes, we do. It's we have a donate button. Let me find the website very quickly. If you go on to shoutingintothevoid.podomatic.com, there is a PayPal donate button where you can click and then you can donate us a bit of money. We understand that donating a little bit of money every month might seem like a bit of a task, but you can just click the button and donate a one-time fee if that would be good for you. It would be great for us, so please do consider it. It would be massively helpful.
Have a wee meeting. Look up, get a list of pros and cons for why it's why you should do it, and then just make your decision. No pressure.
Yep. Very good, Danny. Here's to good Doctor Who.
Need to pay the rent, this man. So yeah, here's to good Doctor Who.
Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you so much, and we'll see you next time.
See you next time. Goodbye.
Bye.